What's good, everybody? Oh my God! Amon-Rellik the Godslayer, Amon-Rellik Gaming. We are back in Final Fantasy 14. We have officially taken down Amon-Rellik and finished the Shadowbringers story. It has been a long time coming. We are now going to embark on trying to go forward into some of the Endwalker, I believe, content. I'll decide that later. Okay. Alright, first and foremost though, let's let's head and just get our Dark Knight outfit on. Yes. And we are back on Balmung, people. We're back on Balmung. We're back on our home world. As you guys know, I was playing with my homie Snake on Diablos, which is where he was at. Where he's at. But he took a break from the game, so I'm back on my home world. All right. Mordona. Let's go. I know that they done some I know they've done some changes to the Dark Knight. I think now our blood weapon, if I remember correctly, now has stacks instead of it being a time thing. So I'm gonna have to do some remelding because I don't have to worry about skill speed as much anymore. This is beautiful, love that. And if I remember correctly as well, our where is it at? Living Dead. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So now our Living Dead, we get the full 10 seconds no matter what. And our cure potency is 1500, and we get a heal every time we get that heal every time we do a weapon skill. For that 10 seconds. So we can basically, I guess you can say, kind of heal ourselves up to max. And but if our Walking Dead timer runs out before the 10 seconds is over, we'll have Undead Rebirth, which basically gives us the rest of our time on the Walking Dead, so we get the full 10 seconds we're supposed to get, regardless of whether we're healed or not. But if we can get the Undead Rebirth, we'll finish out the Invuln and still not die. So it's like, yes, Living Dead is no longer, that big of a hindrance. I mean, it still can happen, but at least now the chances that it will be, will be far less than almost a guaranteed, fuck up at the end of the day. All right. Let's get involved with the story. Tataru! What's happening, girl? Amon, God, it's good to see you. I hope you're Being here means that you've had your fill of rest? More than my fill. Well, you certainly earned it. Not much has happened since your last visit. I had planned for you to meet that helper I told you about, but he refuses to answer his link pearl. I do hope he's alright. We've been exchanging messages with the Aores and the Alliance throughout, though. They say the fighting has finally stopped at the Gimlet Dock, and that the Empire has shown no sign of movement. Which means we might actually have a moment to ourselves for a change. Seeing that you're back, maybe you could tell me more about your time at first? Great. Oh, and you don't mind, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask Flamine to join us. She'll want to know what happened to Minfilia, and I think it's best she hears it from you. We'll meet you at the terrace at the House of Splendors. In the House of Splendors. Alright, we're level 81. Back out into Mordona. Fallacy. It's a cool little dragon mount. Right. House of Splendors. Oh, no. No. Is it up there? Is it up there? House of Splendors. How in the hell? Help! Someone help! Someone help! You know what? Granny! Rowena's House of Splendors. I'm lost. Help! I'm freaking lost. Wait, hold on. Oh, there you go. Amon, Maya's been too long. Tataru did mention that I would be joining you, did she not? Thank you. Words cannot express how I've longed to know more of the first. This world Minfilia has sacrificed so much to save. But come, rest your feet. Tataru should be arriving shortly. And so Minfilia chose to pass her gifts on to the next oracle. This girl who Thancred named Reem. To have such a burden thrust upon her as a child, only to embrace it when given the choice. In that respect, they are quite alike. It would seem her legacy is indeed in capable hands. Might I ask a favor of you when next you return to the First, to tell Reem what I cannot. Tell her thank you. And I would offer thanks to you as well for staying with her to the end. Beg your pardon. Could I have a word? Real. I hope you're here to tell me you received word from our helper. I wish. Nay, I've not had a peep out of him. And it's been a good while too bloody long. On account of which, I'm going to sneak over the border and see if I can get a signal to him from close up. But what if they catch you? There must be another way. Well, it ain't as if we can ask Thancred to do it. Besides, I shouldn't have no trouble picking my way through Gimlet. Now the fighting's died down. God knows there's enough shadows to hide in. And it beats waiting around here twiddling the thumbs. Any road, I just thought I'd let you know. Now it'd best be... I nearly forgot. Crowd's at the Stones, and she wants a word. Something to do with the patients. She was getting ready to examine them again when I left. We best head back then. I'm sure it's important. Glani! It seems she's still examining them. Oh, I do hope it's nothing bad. That's right, yeah, everybody's still asleep. Because they're still stuck in the First.
You're here. Good.
So, how are they?
Still locked in slumber, but otherwise in good physical health. For the present, at least.
For the present? Oh no, is something wrong with them?
I'm afraid there may be. I summoned you after detecting faint signs of instability in Thancred's corporeal ether. But subsequent examination suggested all 5 might be affected. And when I examined them just now, my fears were confirmed. Tellingly, the degree of instability varies between them. Thancred exhibits the most notable signs, followed by Y'shtola and Urianger. The twins' ether, meanwhile, remains relatively stable, but there is a change there too if one knows to look for it.
Hold on. Isn't that the order they were called away in?
Indeed. Which leads me to believe the instability will only increase with time. Though I can but speculate, I fear this may be a symptom of a weakening link between body and soul.
By the gods! What happens if the link is broken?
I cannot say for certain. This is all unknown territory to us. Yet whatever happens, it cannot be good. Mercifully, the instability is still only slight. And you may rest assured Master Matoya and I will do everything in our power to keep it from worsening. Be that as it may, it is imperative that you find a way to restore our friends' souls to their bodies.
Leave it to me. The Dark One shall provide.
Thank you.
But where's he even supposed to start? We had the greatest minds in the realm hunting high and low for an answer, and they ran out of places to look.
You stated in your report that the Exarch had originally intended to reverse the summoning process by means of his own death, correct? Raha always was a reckless young fool, ready to die for the first righteous cause that came along. His plan might well have worked, but I for one am glad he never had the opportunity to see it through. Even if it does mean our friends must remain stranded a while longer. There is another way, I am sure of it. And the key lies with him, with the Exarch. Pray return to the First and apprise him and the others of the situation. We, meanwhile, will do what we can from here. And, if the fates are kind, we will have good news to share upon your return.
The Dark One shall go. Alright, let's go speak with the Exarch. Yes, I have business with the Exarch. Exarch! Ooh, no. I have a word with thee, sir. Ah, Amon, you are returned. I hope your time on the source was suitably restful. But of course it wasn't. Go on. The corporeal aether shows signs of instability. By the gods, the possibility never even occurred to me. If you have returned in hope of my research has yielded a solution, I fear you will be sorely disappointed. It is but a mercy we have the likes of Mistress Kryl and Master Matoya to keep our friends' bodies safe while we wrestle with the problem. But they cannot forestall the separation of body and soul indefinitely. Come, the others must be told.
Pray excuse my late arrival.
Will Thancred and Reen not be joining us?
Nay, milady. With apologies to all, they beg leave to pursue their investigation of the empty to its conclusion. Should matters here demand their presence, however, they did assure me that they would make themselves available.
Yes, of course. Then let us proceed. I think it best that you begin by providing a summary of Mistress Kryle's findings.
I suppose it was only to be expected that some change would occur.
Yet our souls seem unaffected, to my eye at least. How long they will remain so is another question. Kryle is right. It is imperative we find a way to return to the source.
Perhaps an explanation of the method by which I brought you here will yield some inspiration. Ere I begin, it must be noted that I am by no means a gifted mage. In order to employ powerful magics, I must rely upon the Crystal Tower and its boundless reservoirs of energy. The magic that summoned you was no exception. 'Tis a singular spell, adapted through painstaking effort from the technique that transported me to the First. To use an analogy, it works by cutting a hole in the fabric of reality. A hole tailored to the object of summoning, through which it and it alone may pass unscathed. Though I succeeded in creating said hole, I failed to latch onto my intended target. Instead of you, the spell found those close to you, and ended up summoning them in their incomplete state. I would not soon throw my life away, not after the lengths you and yours went to save it. And so long as I breathe, I will spare no effort to see you safely home. But should all else fail, and your lives be at stake, there remains one sure method.
Oh! What was that for?
How can you even entertain such thoughts? You owe your life to the Warrior of Light, and you don't get to die unless he says so.
Damn, Alice, eh?
Your followers await your divine judgment.
What? Just told us something else.
If the two of you have finished, perhaps we could return to our discussion? Rather than dwelling upon the multiple failed attempts at transference, I think it would behoove us to focus on the solitary success. I would draw your attention to the fact that our friend can travel between worlds possessed not only of his body and soul, but his personal effects besides. This is no different from the teleportation magics to which we are all accustomed. Magics that allow for the transportation of those inanimate objects one considers to be an extension of oneself.
Are you suggesting that simply by considering us his possessions, he could carry our souls back to the source upon his person?
Well, it would be nice if things were that simple for a change. But vague notions of ownership seem a rather tenuous thing to stake our lives on. So much as a moment of doubt on his part, and we'd be left floating in the rift.
Milady hath the right of it. The requisite fixity of belief would be too much to ask even of our friend. Yet, were we to immure our souls within an object in his possession, mayhap then our safe passage could be assured. White auracite would, I believe, serve as a suitable vessel for this purpose. It was conceived to imprison the massy soul of an Ascian, and should house one of ours with relative ease. We would need only to ensure our soul's safe preservation inside the stone, and identify a means by which they might be transferred back onto our vacant bodies.
Soul preservation and transference. I believe I know of someone who may be able to assist us. On the far shore of the source, there stands a great palace built by the elves. It was forsaken in the wake of the flood, but a certain Numo chose to make their home there soon after. Though they have long lived as a recluse, they once occupied a place of honor in Verbert's royal court, and it is said that none in all of Norvrant is more knowledgeable than they on matters of the soul.
Well, I've no objection to seeking a helping hand, but if they've gone to such lengths to hide themselves away from the world, what makes you think they'd be willing to lend us one?
A worthy question. Years ago, I myself tried and failed to solicit their cooperation in the battle against the Sin Eaters. No sooner had I begun to make my plea than they unleashed a swarm of their familiars upon me. Unlike me, however, you have curried favor with the Fae folk. By that merit alone, I am hopeful that they would grant you an audience. They may still be inclined to turn you away, of course, but if their knowledge might feasibly facilitate your return home, we have to try.
All right. Direct. Piety, spell speed. Spell speed. Okay, here. Element. All right, guys. All right, we're going to end it here, and in the next one, we're going to go forth on a grand adventure. Amon-Rellik the Godslayer, Amon-Rellik Gaming. We out.